Procedurally generated, permanent death, roguelikes allow their unique mechanics to be incorporated into any genre, resulting in a sea of diverse games with infinite possibilities. And with new unique roguelikes being released every single day, I like to play and analyze the ones that may not have had the chance to shine yet. If that sounds interesting, welcome to the series where we learn what works, what doesn't, and why, all in search to find the next big roguelike. Eldritch Climb, a cursed ascent. This seems to be a climbing roguelike. Funny enough, we actually did cover a climbing roguelike not too long ago on the Rogathon series, White Knuckle, but obviously, as you can see, completely different vibe and hopefully a little less scary. Now, I'm actually really excited to try this game out because now, for those of you who might have had the chance to play this little niche game, this looks very similar to a Game Boy Advance game that I had the pleasure of playing a whole lot when I was a kid, called DK King of Swing. Now, I don't know if that was the first game to implement this very specific kind of climbing mechanic, but this looks one-to-one, which I'm all up for. A few more things about this game. This was made by a studio in Mexico of 5 people. They've been working on this game for over 2 years now. The game is currently out in early access and is currently available with a discount with the winter sale. They are planning on releasing 2 big updates in 2026 and the full release at the end of that year. So as per usual, I'm going to be discovering the game by playing for a few hours, and then I will give my overall thoughts later down in the video, so timestamps below if you want to skip ahead. Alright, let's check out some Eldritch Climb, a cursed ascent. Okay, so straight into a little tutorial here. Yeah, this really brings me back to my to my good old DK age. Oh my goodness. Let's move, collecting some orbs. Oh gosh, I was like, am I gonna fight this? Do you know how to jump? You seem to be able to walk just fine. Yes, I know a thing or two about this place, so come talk to me, like, go jump over there. Cool. All right, so yeah, we got our basic jump. The art is, it reminds me of a few other games. There we go. There it is. But I can't really pinpoint exactly what. All right, let's see if I still got it. So I think I automatically hold on to stuff, do I? Let's see. No, I don't. I have to actually press the button once I'm there. Okay. It's okay. I was trained for this. This is what my childhood was for. This is already so much fun. But obviously, yeah, very unique gameplay. So curious to see where the roguelike stuff is going to be at. While grab, hold both to charge, and yeah, I remember it all. Woo. My gosh, the music is intense, I gotta say. Oh my gosh. While grab, hold both hands. Oh geez, hello. You can also charge against a creature. Yeah, okay. They really stuck to how the DK was. Careful with those eyes. Defeating enemies, looting corpses, and some other actions will reward you with eye drops. That's the stuff we've been finding, yeah. These green-looking spheres will slowly fill the eye counter. Whenever it is fulfilled, you'll get a new eye. These eyes serve as currency for you to use in many parts of the game. So it's like currency segments, right? The more eyes you have, the more your perception of the mountain will change. Res versus reward. Okay. Each level, enemy, and hazard has 3 variations that will show up depending on how many eyes you've gathered. That's cool. The more eyes you have, the climb will become weirder and harder. If you want to face the horrors of the mountain in a challenging gameplay, do not bend those eyes. Oh, okay. So we just have to spend them. Oh, cool. I'm all up for risk versus reward, so that sounds fine to me. Have I seen the shift already? So is this part of the shift? Oh, yeah. I can see them. Why am I moving this way when I'm... Okay, I can't charge on the floor. Got it, yeah, that's why. The music. It's so intense. Okay, so now I've got some eyes looking at... Oh, hello. Look, valuables might be in there. Okay. Okay, we got our first item. Okay, so we can have 2 items, really. Okay, but I can use that. Okay. Okay, got it. Way to go. Calling. Hey, I got an achievement. Oh, nice. Okay, I think we're in a run now, potentially. This might be the actual start, maybe. Okay, so I still don't really know how bad it is to have more eyes, that kind of stuff, so we'll have to see what happens if I do this. Oh, it just slowly breaks and gives me more eyes. Okay, Yeah, so, I mean, obviously I'm going to go for as many orbs as possible. I just don't actually know how bad it's going to be in the long term. Boop. Okay, we got some traps. We got a spelunky. It's like the opposite of spelunky. We're going up instead of going down, pretty much. So you don't shoot again. Cool, I can drop. That's nice. I don't think there's a timer. Hopefully not, at least. Okay, hello. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's okay, I can get some health back right here. Nice, easy. Oh my gosh, I still got it. I am so in love with this gameplay. Oh gosh, that's gonna go boom. Nice. Okay, so yeah, you just do a bunch of stuff that yeah. Wow, I actually got it. Crazy. I mean, basically want to explore the whole level, right? Another axe? Can I get double hit? Dum dum. Okay, I'm surprised it actually allowed me to grab both, but okay. So I can't actually charge while on the floor, so that's something that I have to be careful with. Rest here. Okay. Oh, that's the first level-ish. Oh, wow. No, okay, it actually does teleport me. Okay, so I should have checked more. Okay, so I don't want to do this without doing the rest of the level, obviously. Oh, that was a spooky fellow. Is the audio too loud in the game, by the way, or are we good? Oh, there is fall damage. Okay, we got fall damage. You know, I don't think there was fall damage in DK. Yes, I am going to compare everything to that DK game. Oh, that's a thing. Okay. Oh, it's my hands. I see. Low gravity. Hey, I got an achievement. Whoa. Okay. I'm assuming it's just a temporary effect. Okay, what do you got for me? Sure. Let's... Oh, compass. What does the compass do? Ooh, we got some stuff here. I like the book. This looks cool. Doesn't actually give me information. It'll... Oh, wait, no. I can barely see the green text. It's so bright. It points towards the level's base camp. Okay, and that's a passive, right? Sounds good? Cool. Boop. I mean, I'm just going to collect as many of these eyes as possible. So far, it doesn't seem to do anything bad, so... Surprise! Okay, what do you do? Reduces cooldown on items. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know how instinctive I saw that coming. These controls are to someone who obviously has not grown up with DK King of Swings. Okay, so here we are. I think we've got everything. There's a time, but I don't think the time actually matters much. So far, it's just the same level. My guess would be like 3 levels and a boss per biome. So right now, this should theoretically be the last one, if my theory is correct. Heavy. I don't know how I feel about that. I can definitely feel the heaviness. Okay, it doesn't last very long. Confused. What's gonna happen? Oh, God. Okay. So I have to do this? No, wait. Okay. Well, I guess it was confusing. Oh, yeah, I can look down. Nice. So I was like, can I look down? So I wonder how these levels are actually made, right? Like, there are not that many platforming roguelikes out there because platforming is, you know, usually you want to... Can I have 2 of those? Platforming roguelikes usually, well, you know, like platformers, sorry, usually like require like a lot of thought put into the actual level design, and level design is a little tricky with roguelikes. So I'm wondering how much is randomly generated here versus pre-made segments of the level itself. Ooh, a new thing. So what do you do? That's hilarious. Okay, so it like auto targets. Can I choose where to target? Not really. Just kind of does its own thing, I guess. Okay, now I guess we are corrupt, or whatever you call it, the eyes. We have 20. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, so boss time? No, not yet. When am I gonna be able to spend my eyes, by the way? Okay, so now like the explosive barrel moves around. Cool, okay, got it. Okay, I can fast fall. That's quite nice to know, actually. Feather boots. Gain an extra jump midair. Nice. Oh, wow, that's quite a jump. Okay, let's move on. 1-4. Boss. Ah, boss time. Okay, cool. Oh, gosh, you are loud. All right, what do you do? What do you do? You just slapped. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I realized, wait, the axe is really good against this because it's just a matter of instances of damage that I need to do. Okay, it doesn't have a hurt box. So that's nice. Okay. Nice. Hitless first boss. I'll take it. You've got his eyes on your way, Wanderer. They are a highly viable resource in these lands. Whoa, that looks funky. Remember the green thingies you got earlier? Yes. Okay, let's see. What can we do with our eyes? The mountain, you can offer them here. Cool, got it. It's a great way to reduce your eyes, making the game easier. By taking the easy route, you might miss some... Okay, wait, so this is not as much of a traditional kind of like currency as I expected. Praying will also change the mountain permanently on future runs, unlocking new paths and puzzles. This is a very odd mechanic. I guess I'll offer all of it. Oh yeah, I can see it's building up a little bit, right? You can see the little blue. So it's not actually like a roguelite in the sense where I'm not gonna get stronger apparently. Well, I'm gonna continue playing on my end. I feel like there's a lot that the game has to offer. So I will circle back with my overall thoughts in just a moment. Okay, so I ended up continuing that run. I played a few more runs. I actually did end up beating the game in its current early access. I beat the boss of the second biome, and that was as far as I could go. I've got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. First off, the gameplay is exactly what I remembered from my childhood. I love it. It's super fun. It's a very unique gimmick, I would say, and it actually has a lot of combination of almost puzzle making, because you have to always be thinking about how you can, you know, move from one area to another and actually evade enemies or attack enemies. There's definitely skill, knowledge. It's really fun. It's simple too, right? Like it's almost kind of like a very light getting over it, where it's very simple mechanic, right? There's only just 2 buttons. That's it, right? But you have to get used to it, and if you're not used to it, it might be a little frustrating to people until they get comfortable. And I love it. It's super fun. I think overall, yeah, the gameplay is really well done. It is definitely a game that can be a roguelike. And what I mean by that is I keep on saying that, you know, it's only a matter of time before every single gimmick ends up being a roguelike, which I'm all up for. So let's talk about those roguelike elements, right? Because I was very curious how they were going to approach that. And effectively, I think there's some good ideas, but overall, I do think this game does have a lot of tweaking that I would recommend. So currently, the roguelike elements are that you have random patches of levels that are randomly generated, I think. And then you have some items that you can find that are going to be your passives throughout your run, 2 actives that are kind of like your weapons, and then there are going to be some temporary buffs that you can find under like some totems kind of thing. And that's about all that you're going to be encountering throughout the run. There's going to be some random enemies, of course, and then you're going to be gathering a bunch of currency for that meta progression-ish outside. Now, I think the roguelike elements currently are quite weak, but generally when I talk about roguelikes that have more of a focus on gameplay, I do say that the gameplay is the most important part, right? It's not like Binding of Isaac that has very minimal, like, there's barely anything gameplay-wise, so it has a very strong roguelike mechanics, right? Here, it's the opposite. The gameplay is much more fun and unique, but the roguelike stuff is very minor in comparison. And I think that's fine generally for these kind of games, but I think this game could really bump that up a little bit. I think the game should have more interesting things to find throughout the levels, because currently each biome has 4 levels, and each level are, I think, pretty much exactly the same. So just repeating the same thing 4 times, which does get a little repetitive in my opinion. And there's not too much to encounter other than these roguelike elements that I talked about that ultimately also repeat themselves. So for instance, the actives and the passives, the actives, you know, you pick the ones you like and then you stick to them. So then when you find more actives, they're useless. You can't really do much with them. And then passives, they're cool. Actually, I like the passives quite a bit. The problem is that there's a very limited amount right now, again in early access, but you can still find duplicates of them and they're useless. So a lot of times, almost more than half of the time, I would find a place to get those passives, and then it would just pop a duplicate and I can't do anything with it. That's not a great feeling. Same with the active. So overall, I felt like the looting wasn't satisfying because more than half of the time it was literally useless. And again, all these things are obviously going to be tweaked, but I do think even for an early access, there could have been a little bit more put into some of those little details here and there. So I wish there was more passives, more actives, a way to not have duplicate passives, because it just feels like a shame to just encounter them and do nothing with them. More enemy variety, I think would be great. The totem thingies that you find that gives you temporary effects, I actually like the idea because effectively most of them give you like a debuff, but it's not a huge debuff, but they give you eyes in return. We're going to talk about the eyes in just a moment. I think that's fine. Why not? But the thing is that I've realized that some of them can just give you max health, just like a permanent boom max health for the run, and that's completely random. I had one run where I had like 10 health and one run where I had 4. And it's just pure RNG. Again, that RNG aspect, I don't know how I feel about it. Now the combat, I guess to circle back on the gameplay, I love the combat. I think the combat is super fun because again, it's kind of like a puzzle and you have to find ways to use your innate attack, which is a charge thing, which you always have access to, or your weapons that you're going to be finding. And the weapons, again, are really well designed. I think they're really interesting and they allow you to approach different enemies in different ways every run, which is super cool. But I think currently a lot of the gameplay, combat, especially for bosses, does get hindered by the overall jankiness of the game. And yeah, there's some bugs, that's fine, but the jankiness is so present that I've lost to a boss fight twice just because I got stuck on a weird thing and couldn't move anymore. That was like kind of twitching kind of stuff. And I think that in combination with the overall not understanding where exactly hitboxes are, hurt boxes are, what can damage you, what can't, I kind of wish there was more of a clear distinction as to certain attacks for the bosses, for instance. Not saying that you don't see them coming. They actually do a really good job with showing moves, but I kind of wish it was more of like a, you know, like the spike balls, it's kind of hard to know when they're going to come out from the second boss. You're not too sure from the first boss if what deals damage and what doesn't. So these kind of things I'm hoping is going to get fleshed out a little bit more. Currently, when I would lose, most of the time it's because of the field of vision. I think the game is either too zoomed in or just needs a better way to show things around, because especially in the second world, there's an enemy that just shoots at you, and there's also traps that will shoot at you from off screen, and there's not a clear audio indication other than when it shoots, which you don't really have time to react because it's not like a traditional platform where you can just constantly jump and you're fast moving. So there's a lot of things that just hit you from just outside of the screen, and that's where I took most of my damage. Not a great feeling. So I kind of wish it was either more zoomed out or there was less of these, like the aggro range was smaller for the traps and enemies, or just some way to just not constantly get hit by things off screen. I think that would be nice. Okay, so let's talk about the eyes mechanic, because that seems to be kind of the core little currency thing that they have going, which is definitely interesting. So it kind of reminds me of, there's a few games that do this, right? Like the more you have something, the more corrupt and more the level kind of changes, right? So I still don't fully understand how this game works in terms of the eyes things, but you're constantly being pushed to collect these eyes, and if you collect too many of them, the level gets harder, which is cool, and I love to see the different variations. I didn't get to see all the different variations myself, but why do you collect these eyes? I don't really know why, because then you can just offer them outside and then you get potentially a bonus later, but you don't get like progression, like, you know, more stats and, you know, actual meta progression or even unlocking things. You're just kind of offering it to the big totem, and then if you offer enough of them, it changes the mountain. And so far what I've seen, it just kind of changes the cosmetics. I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure there's more secrets and stuff, and that's where I feel like this game could really shine, is kind of taking that Spelunky approach where there's a lot of little hidden things, and I have seen some hidden things that I didn't fully understand that definitely got me intrigued. But unfortunately, I didn't get enough of like a reason to want to collect these things that much, because, well, you don't really get much from it, at least from at first sight. So I kind of wish there was more of an incentive and more of a reward for doing things in this game. There's not many rewards in this game. There's not much to collect, and the eyes are kind of specific, if that makes sense. So more rewards and more meta progression I think would be nice, even if not necessarily like upgrades to make you stronger. I understand in these kind of games it's a little hard to do that, but at least just maybe like some meta progression to unlock more items in the long run, at least push me to want to collect more currency, I guess. Maybe, I don't know how you would do it, right? Because you would need the eyes to give to the big totem for like the main plot, but I would also like to, you know, have something to unlock to feel like I'm progressing outside of just giving all my eyes to the big totem. And speaking of that, currency seems a little weird because I collect like 30 or so after having completed an entire run. And then there's a little shop outside where you can just buy an item for your next run. That's it, right? So nothing permanent. And for some reason, she offers like a random item for like 80 eyes. And it's an item I could just find randomly on a corpse on the first floor. So I was like, it seems a little odd. So I think this game overall has a really, really cool core gameplay loop that I think is really fun and solid. But currently, I do think that Eldritch Climb needs polish in a lot of different areas. And currently in its early access, it does feel a little janky. But if they are planning, like they said, of actually updating the game and getting it fully released in like a year, then honestly, if they really take a look at, you know, more level diversity, less jankiness, more rewards, more secrets, more things to look forward to, then I could honestly imagine this game being really, really fun. And to finish off, I want to touch on the art and visuals and audio. I think the art, visually, the game is really nice. I can't really remember exactly. It has a very unique kind of art style that I recognize, but I can't really put my finger on it. At first, it kind of gave me Ship of Fools vibes, but that's not it. I'd have to think about it more. I think the hub looks quite immersive overall. I think it looks really nice. The VFX are very minor right now. I hope they're going to expand more on the visual effects, because things disappearing or certain animations not being fully finished. But again, all early access, so I'm just assuming it's going to be polished. Same with the sound design. Currently, there are like the bosses are extremely loud. There are certain sound effects that loop constantly if something triggers, and then it just never leaves, that kind of stuff. Overall, I think the sound design is quite nice though. And the music is a more energetic than I would have expected from a game like this. I was hoping for more of a adventure feel, more than like an action-like drums and guitar thing, but I guess it's taste. And lastly, the last thing I want to touch on before ending these thoughts of mine, I do want to touch on a little bit on the actual level design itself outside of the roguelike stuff. Once again, as someone who really has fond memories of the original game, I do feel like currently there are things to grab onto absolutely everywhere, and I understand that for the first level, but starting on the second level I was expecting having to like be more selective with what you're holding on to. So I kind of wish there was more fun things to do with the level design and having some more actual platforming that I didn't really feel that much on the second biome, which I was hoping for. Yeah, there are some moving platforms, there are certain things you have to hold on, it's a little bit more extensive, and there are some much more dangerous obstacles, and those are cool. But I'm also hoping for more like, oh, you have to grab onto this and then like jump there to do this, as opposed to having to try to evade everything at all times. It's a small thing, but just because I really like the core gameplay of this game. So yeah, overall, Eldritch Climb looks very, very promising. I look forward to seeing all the updates coming up, and I'll be keeping a close eye on it. Get it? Eye? The currency thing. Once again, if you want to try out this game currently, it is on discount for the winter sale. Might be a good idea to grab it now, so that once those updates come in and this game becomes like an awesome hidden gem, you don't miss out. Thank you once again for sending us Eldritch Climb and using the skip the line option. We really appreciate the support. If you're interested in sending your roguelike game or demo, feel free to check out the form below for a chance to being featured on a future episode of the Finding the Next Big Roguelike. Thank you so much for playing our game, Mark. It was exciting to see you experiencing the game for the first time, and we definitely appreciated the feedback. There's so much we will take into account. That makes me really happy. I'm glad you enjoyed watching me play. I had an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to see where this game goes in the future. And yeah, that's about it.